It's brother to brother.
I just watched, was it Once Upon a Time in Hollywood again?
He likes
Sure
dirty
enough.
feet.
The feet are up. They're dirty. They're always up. Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown was a good one. People forget about that one.
Yeah, it's underrated.
Pam Grier.
As good as it was, it's not Robert De Niro's.
Nobody ever talks about it.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites. What's your favorite Tarantino movie?
Oh boy.
Have you seen all of them? I have not. I have not seen Hateful Eight or Inglourious. No, I've seen Inglourious. I haven't seen Django Unchained.
I've seen. Oh wow. Okay, that one's amazing.
I know.
They're all amazing.
It's on my list.
I like Inglourious Bastards a lot. I really like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I thought that was really great.
I listened to the book.
Oh, the one he wrote.
Yeah.
Is it good?
It's great. Yeah, it weaves the story in a different order, and there's a ton more information about Cliff Booth.
Oh right.
The
actual guy.
Yeah. Well, just the character, right? The Brad Pitt character.
Right.
Gives a lot of backstory. I told my son, my oldest, because he loves that one too, and he goes, "Did Cliff kill his wife?" And I go, "Yep." He goes, "Really?" I go, "Yeah, it's in the book. It's explicit. Like it's very." He tells you exactly how he did
his
it.
wife.
Yeah, because that's the rumor in the book. Is that the rumor was that the stuntman had killed his wife.
Ah.
And
yeah,
beat
that's
up
a
Bruce
good one.
Lee.
I can't believe you haven't seen Django Unchained. You should go watch. It's homework.
Yeah, that one's on my list. I gotta watch it.
So good.
How do you feel about Reservoir Dogs?
I mean, it's an amazing. Like those movies are awesome.
How long has it been since you've seen it?
20 years.
Yeah, I saw it when it came out, maybe a couple of times on video, and then I don't remember it very well.
They're all in one room.
I know.
I remember it's all kind of takes place in one room.
I think you're thinking Usual Suspects.
No, that takes place in
in a room.
In a room, a different room. It's a different.
It could have
room.
been Spanish Prisoner. That one takes place in a.
It's a room.
Spanish Prisoner is a great movie. It wasn't available for a long time. It's David Mamet and Steve Martin in a dramatic role.
Oh, I've never even heard of it.
Oh, it's the.
So the audience is gonna be riveted.
Yeah. If you're waiting for, have you ever heard the story about Steve Martin when he started doing? He was, because he's one of the largest art collectors in the country.
Oh, yeah.
That he was setting up tour places to go talk about art, and people showed up, and he talked about art for the whole show, and people were like, "This wasn't funny at all," and they wanted a refund, and he's like, "But it was me talking about art, like it's what the poster is," and
that's kind of on him, though. I think.
In what way?
I don't know.
He didn't advertise that he was doing comedy.
Don't do that.
You can't book anything because you're a comedian.
Or was it at a museum?
It was like at Carnegie Hall or something.
Well, yeah, I don't know. I think he's got to.
It wasn't like he went to a club. He wasn't like at Caroline's.
He should make sure to add in a good amount of funny.
Well, I think like he is interesting and funny, but I don't think he wasn't doing it to tell jokes. He was doing it to talk about art.
Yeah, that's.
Do you think if he was talking about his plays, he has to be funny?
I think at some point you build your brand up to a thing that you do kind of need to like deliver to your fans.
Oh man,
I don't think, or just don't do it. What does he need to do that for anyway?
I think people are interested in Steve Martin. He's a kind of a interesting Renaissance guy.
But they clearly weren't.
Well, they weren't interested in that part of Steve Martin.
Right.
Yeah, they were interested.
Read the room, brother.
There's the reason why him and Martin Short are going around touring and doing their comedic act. He's abandoned it completely.
Yeah. It's like
enjoy your art in peace.
Yeah, that's like you're giving a speech in the Senate, and instead of talking about like you're mishandling funds, you do a magic act.
It's like Nate Bargatze's story about coming out of the magic trick for his dad.
Oh,
his dad just looks at him like, "What are you doing?" He goes, "And then I'm doing comedy." He goes, "And people don't know you're doing comedy. It just sounds like an angry speech."
Dude, it's the worst.
Have you ever done comedy when it wasn't people didn't expect it?
Oh, lots of times.
Tell me.
Surprise comedy. Where was it? It's in the West Village. It's actually next to the Comedy Cellar. Anyway, it's the World Series. The Yankees are in the World Series. So we got the show. It's booked at, starts at 8:00. Game starts at 7. So people are watching the World Series. This poor woman who was hosting the show just systematically goes through the bar at 8:00 and shuts all the TVs off. I mean, I thought she was going to get murdered, dude. Murdered. So then they struck a deal where they'd put the TVs back on, but the sound would be off.
Okay, yeah.
So you know, you get called up to do you know, your 10 minutes, and you know, you're right before a punchline. Derek Jeter hits a line drive, and people start cheering. It was horrible. Yeah, those are the two worst things I think when you walk into a bar. Is going to a bar because you're just gonna have drinks, and there's a stand-up comedy show. That's fucking horrible.
Yeah.
And if you walk in and there's trivia.
Oh, yeah, ongoing trivia. Like, you're not part of it. You just walk into
like,
a trivia
you're
contest.
2 questions late.
Can't even start.
You can't even get involved.
You're like, what if I start late? I'm pretty good. No.
I did trivia one time. I went to this when I was up in Pennsylvania. And I just went to the local bar, and they had trivia, and it was just me, and I didn't even know there was gonna be trivia. So, you know, everybody had their teams, and I just was like, oh, let's do it on my own. And dude, I hit a run. It was like a real Slumdog Millionaire run. I mean, the topics were like literally the only thing that I know about. It's like, you know, sports,
Movies.
fine art,
Yeah.
films, right? And as it's going, I just start laughing because I'm getting everything right. And like my lead, after every round, they announce the lead, and it's like, you know, they have all their names, and it's like, and we have John Wells in the lead by 40 points. I'm laughing. People were like, he's cheating. They're getting mad. So anyway, so the last round is like weighted. God, I wish I could remember what the subject was, but it was multiple choice. And I had no idea. So there's 10 questions. I had zero idea. I guess on all 10, I got 9 out of 10 right.
Just the impossible dream.
Yeah, won $100 tab. It was amazing. It was great.
Pretty nice.
Yeah,
That doesn't
It was
happen
like
in
no, it's
comedy.
literally like you know, like it would be like country music, and he must have just watched the Ken Burns documentary, so like a lot more about Bakersfield.
They're like, how could he possibly
How he
know
could know
about
that?
Merle? How
This-
did he know?
Right.
Well, that sounds better than if a comedy show, because a comedy show, you don't get to go up and then win $100. You just get to annoy
No, you just get to lose
40 people in the bar.
and lose your dignity.
There's a time for it that people are like, you got to go up anywhere all the time. And I'm like, no, not in that situation.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know a situation where having people angry at you helps.
well, I don't know. I think getting in a situation where it's extremely uncomfortable, like it's like anything. You test your mental fortitude, and
That's
like,
that's
and if you can get that crowd on your side, it's like, I think it's worth it. I don't like to do that anymore, but I'm just older now.
you can't
and
do
I don't
your
care.
act. I don't think you got to kind of really engage.
You got to
the
try to
room.
engage. Yeah.
There's a great story of the magician Mac King.
Mm-hmm.
He's best friends with Lance Burton.
Right.
They both came out from Kentucky together, and when they were young, and they would literally do any gig that you could possibly do. They would walk up to tables at diners and just Lance Burton would just make a dove appear at the table like a Denny's.
Just shits on your eggs.
Tip. And Matt King told a story that they got booked to do in between strippers
Oh, that's
in
great.
a strip club. And he goes, so stripper finishes, they're getting ready for the next person, and Lance Burton comes out to do his dove act, which is considered the greatest dove act appearance thing of all time. There's a version of
There's
it
a
on
ranking system.
people just in the magic community are like, it's the best. Johnny Carson loved it. He did. It was a 10-minute segment. You can see it. Lance Burton on Johnny Carson when he was young. He said that he goes, so everybody's booing because they obviously want more naked women and not like a 18-year-old dude walking out. He makes that first dove appear, and they're like, okay, what is this? He goes, by the end of it, he gets a standing ovation from the guys there to see strippers. And he was like, he had something. There's an it quality to whatever he was doing that is...
Yeah, magic's one of those things that it's either horrible,
which is fun.
and even if it's pretty good, magic is horrible.
Yeah, it's got to be great.
It's got to be great. And if it's great, it's amazing.
And if it's bad, you want it to be real bad.
Yeah,
it
you
needs to
gotta
fall
go-
apart.
Yeah, it needs to be like a real horrible situation.
Penn Jillette from Penn and Teller, he says, magic doesn't fool you because you're stupid. Magic fools you because it's stupid.
It's just too.
Yeah, it's that you practice and practice and practice just moving something, this card from here to here when nobody's seeing. And he goes, there's a stupidity in that level of practicing. I mean, when I was doing it constantly before I was a member at the Magic Castle, I would just sit in front of TV and practice the moves over and over again until there's no thought. It's just instinctive. Like even now, if I pick up a deck of cards, I can pretty much do it seamlessly.
You ever thought about integrating any magic into like stand-up?
I think there's a different aspect. I never really did magic that was that visual for a stage. I would have to really like figure out what magic I would want to do on stage. I did a lot of close-up. Yeah.
Close-up, sleight of hand.
But it's all like a version of that. But yeah, I'd really have to like have something good. I remember talking to a comic once years ago when I first started doing comedy, and he knew I did magic too. And he goes, "Well, here's the thing. If your magic is great, that's great." He goes, "But if your comedy's not great, you're just doing magic." And people go, "He's not that funny," which will make the magic worse.
Yeah,
so the magic has to be great, and the comedy can't be hacky anymore. It has to be really, really tight.
Right.
Like the timing of magic is critical, and then you add on to that the timing of comedy, which is critical. And if one of those isn't up to par, then the whole thing falls apart. At least with comedy, if you don't have a magic trick going on, you can kind of focus.
Right.
So I've thought about it, but I don't really have anything that I feel would be. Or I don't have a good enough spin on a really good magic trick or an older magic trick, and I don't want to do any psychic stuff.
And you're also not interested.
Yeah, not enough. Not enough. There is a part of me that's interested in doing magic. I like doing it. I like performing it. It's really fun. And now that I'm older, I feel more comfortable. I think doing comedy for 5 years has made me more comfortable. Just here's a trick.
Yeah, I want to go to the comedy club. That didn't burn down, did it? That
no,
made it.
That's in Burbank, isn't it? I think it's in Burbank.
No,
it's not in Burbank.
Not
it's
Comedy
in,
Magic. I mean, the Magic Castle.
Malibu, Santa Monica? Not Magic Castle. I was thinking of the Comedy Magic Club.
Yeah, I've never been there.
That's the one Jay Leno. He does a weekly show there.
Right.
That guy's still performing, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That's a guy that you go. He's a comic. That guy is a real comic. He did other things, but he was a real comic all the time.
Yeah. Was he funny though?
I've never seen his actual comedy.
I hear he's really funny.
Yeah, that's what I've heard too. It's nothing like his Tonight Show stuff.
So what's new with you?
My daughter's doing good in Hawaii. She got a job at a bakery.
That's awesome.
She said it was a Taiwanese bakery. I don't know what that means, but
well, that means they're from
Taiwan. But I don't know what the difference between pastries and drinks and flavors that they have. I've never been to a Taiwanese bakery.
Well, we went to that place. It was Filipino donuts.
Yep,
they were just donuts.
Yeah, no, not Filipino, Portuguese
donuts.
Portuguese, yeah, malasadas.
They were delicious.
They were delicious. They were like a softer, jelly-filled donut, like a light.
Yeah, they were delicious.
Yeah, they were good. But we went to two, and they were slightly different. I liked Leonard's. That's the classic.
Yeah, that's fun. And you had to eat them with the chickens are attacking you. That was fun.
That's right. There were chickens everywhere.
So she's in Hawaii. How you doing? Last week we talked about your empty nest syndrome. How you holding up?
I'm doing good. My other son, Colin, he comes into town on the weekends now because his girlfriend lives in town. So he's coming into town, which is fun. Doing good. She actually talks to me more because of text messaging.
You get more communicado.
There's actually more communication. Yeah, when she was home, she's a 17-year-old, so she did her own thing. But now that she's away, she's keeping me up to date.
That's good.
Before I would have to be like, hey, what's going on? Everything good? Yeah, okay. That's a positive.
Have you been super worried about her though, or like?
No, not really. I think
safety?
she seems like she has a good group of people that she got around the first week there.
That's good.
And then, she's a self-starter. Obviously, she went online, found this bakery, applied for a job online, got an interview on Friday, the first week of school. Went in, rode the public transportation there, 2 miles away, got the job, and a free drink. She said, so super proud of her.
She's not old enough to drink.
I think it was like a matcha.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
My brain goes directly to cocktail.
Yeah, the Taiwanese bakery bar.
That's cool, man.
There should be a bakery and bar. How come that's never happened?
They're there.
Bakery bars?
There's a lot of hybrid bars in like New York.
Well, big city.
Tons.
Yeah. I guess it just hasn't made its way to here. We don't have a lot of those specialties. Like you lived in Callicoon, upstate New York, and you had that like bar / hors d'oeuvres place. That was one of the greatest places ever. Tapas. Yeah.
It was a wine shop.
It was just wine. They sold wine. Was it a full bar
wine
or
and
just
beer?
Wine? And then,
really great food. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of that around.
here,
Bakersfield doesn't have.
not here.
There's got to
I
be a
know in Los
wine shop
Angeles-
that you. There's Imbibe. There's a wine shop that sells pizzas.
Oh, is that what they do? Pizzas?
Yeah.
I've never been in there for food, only for like some shows.
Right. Yeah, I think that's the only reason I've ever been in there.
We have a
too,
few wine places in town that do like wine and charcuterie boards and
Yeah.
stuff.
But yeah, you don't find those like hybrid coffee shop in the morning, bar at night
Right.
as much here. But there's just maybe not the clientele for it, I guess, or the population.
Maybe it's coming that way. It seems like the culture of the city is moving in that direction.
I want to do a laundromat / bar, dude.
That way, the lawn. Oh, okay.
Soaps and suds.
So that's a good name.
Yeah.
You've been thinking about that.
I've had this idea for 20 years.
Was that because you
I just
worked in
ruined
that
it.
Starbucks
Because I worked in a Starbucks
That-
inside of a
was it-
laundromat.
that had a Subway sandwich in there?
Yeah, it was a Subway, a laundromat, and a Starbucks inside.
Is that where you got like? Because they had an open mic there.
They did.
And
yeah.
is that where you were like, I think I could do this? Or it was because I think after that is when you started doing comedy, a couple years after that. That was in Echo Park, right?
Yeah, like Silver Lake Echo. Before it was nice.
Right.
Yeah, I think so. Seeing it, probably. I don't really remember. I don't remember much of the last 20 years.
Randomly, I remember there was one you told me about. It was two guys with a guitar. One guy had no strings on the guitar. They were called the Turtlenecks.
You have way better memory than
It
me.
was just a couple things that stood out. There was that, and they were like, "We're about to blow the doors off this place."
That's pretty
And I
funny.
think that was funny. And then another comic, it's an open mic, and it's all comics, and nobody laughs, but he'd bomb, and he'd be like, "Excuse me, can I have a caffeine-free diet squirt?"
I remember that joke. You have a still trap memory. I have no recollection of it.
I know what people think that I have very specific memories of a few things that make it seem like I remember a lot.
Right.
I don't remember a lot. I just remember a couple things.
Yeah, no, I just suppress and block.
You talked to Jillian, or was her name Jillian Anderson?
Yeah, see, you know all my story. I did I didn't know it was her.
That's funny.
I talked to a lot of people.
Celebrities?
Yeah, I don't really remember. I don't care. I never think about it.
I think it was like Bakersfield at the time, 25 years ago, very small.
Yeah, much smaller, yeah.
Not coming into contact, and it was like, oh, that's cool. You talked to who? Oh, wow, man. You know, there's
Right.
like an excitement
little
to
more
big city
exciting.
stuff and hearing a story as opposed to like, what happened? Well, the turnip cart spilled and
Right. There's a bunch of dead horses on Highway
we
99.
had to put the horses down.
Yeah, I don't know. I never, for whatever reason, I've never been starstruck or I never was interested in any of that stuff. Like, it's cool, I guess. But I was like, oh yeah, okay. Like I was talking, I was on a break, and she left, and then everybody's like, how do you know her? And I was like, I don't. She just, and then they told me it was, and I was like, who's that? And they're like, on the X-Files. I was like, what's the X-Files? I think there's a lot of years where I didn't watch any TV, I was poor. I didn't even think I had a TV. I didn't have a computer. There
That's
was no
way
streaming.
before no cell phones.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff I didn't even know existed.
It was easy to miss a lot. I have a friend, he didn't have a TV for several years, and he goes, I missed all of Friends. I missed Seinfeld. He goes, I feel like, he's Gen X like us. He goes, I feel like it's a pretty big gap in my Gen X knowledge as I
pretty
missed
big gap.
Seinfeld. And I was like, yeah. And I go, oh, my friend was on the Urban Sombrero episode, which you haven't seen.
That's funny. Yeah, I think
That's a big gap.
I missed like Sopranos.
I've seen season
The
1 of Sopranos.
Wire.
I never saw The Wire. I heard it's amazing.
You know, wasn't yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that. They're really both great shows.
Well, like Breaking Bad, I've seen almost all of season 1 now. And I know it's great. I've seen almost all of season 1 of Lost.
what's going on with my glasses here, dude?
It's getting old,
You
man.
see how they're crooked?
No, it's your face.
Oh, that's a little harsh. But they feel like they're falling off.
No, they're not.
I can't stop thinking about it because now my neuroses is. Yeah,
Are they prescription
I can feel it. It's like
or just
Look-
decorative?
no, these are prescribed
Okay.
by Dr. Warby Parker.
Oh, I've heard good things.
You know, that's dude. They really fucked over the eye doctor community because they're like, yeah, we're just gonna like put it on the app where you can get an eye test, and you just put your phone away, and you're like A F D C.
Oh, is that what they do?
Yeah, and then they're like, okay, and they give.
Are they accurate?
I think it is probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, well, that makes like
I think you have to have had an existing prescription, and then you can re-up your prescription as long as your vision stays in the same ballpark.
now Warby Parker. Did they messed up with your glasses situation, right?
No.
Did they send you a bunch and then not pay? You didn't have to pay.
Well, I don't want to announce that on
Yeah.
TV.
It's
No, I'm
like
kidding.
remember the CD? What was that CD when we were kids? Where you for a penny you could get like 10 CDs or 20 CDs.
Yeah.
and then you were required to buy a certain amount, but like
nobody ever did.
they couldn't enforce it.
I remember you had to tape a penny to the card
That's right.
and send it in.
I did that.
Yeah, you did, and I think you cost our parents like $380.
No, they didn't pay nothing. Mom and Dad definitely did not pay that.
No, yeah. So Warby Parker, you can get them to send you glasses to try on,
And then you send
and then
them
you send
back.
them back, and then I just had them here, and then I get a week, two later, I just get an email that says thank you for returning those glasses. So I was like, cool, I got all these frames. They're up there somewhere. I've not given some away.
They had similar prescription to you.
No, they're just
Or just the frames.
they're just the frames with glass. It's
Oh,
not like
okay.
they're not. That'd be amazing
Yeah.
if they gave you 5 free
So
prescription
you send it back,
glasses.
and then they send you the ones that have the right.
Then you
prescription
pick
in
which
it.
one you
That
want.
makes
and
sense.
yeah,
So you just had
yeah.
a bunch of decorative glasses.
Just a bunch of show glasses.
I like it.
Which I couldn't see anything anyway.
We talked about you going hiking.
Yeah, my
Last
back's
week?
been screwed up
Has it?
ever since. Yeah, I've been having bad sciatic pain.
Is it just age or lack of preparation or wrong shoes or all of the above?
Well, one definite lack of preparation. No, we there. You're just slipping around, coming down. Uphills, people are like, oh, it's really high. Going down
Down's
once
way
you go up
harder.
a mountain is hard.
Oh yeah, it's super
It's way
dangerous.
harder on
You
your
can
body. 'Cause
Slide.
You're just sliding and you're just
always bracing.
stabilizing. Yeah, and I'm not built for stabilizing.
When we were younger people can handle it.
I also never hiked. I'm not a nature guy.
Do you? This was the reason I was asking. I was thinking about this this morning. What thing that you're not good at do you wish that you were good at? Like what skill or area of life you're like, I have just no experience in this. I wish that's an area I wish I had learned.
Probably just the overall life part,
Just life.
just life in general.
But you've
what do I wish
experienced
I'd
life.
learned?
You've experienced life, even if you're not good at it.
What do I wish? I wish I was I don't know.
Do you ever want to do outdoor stuff?
Oh, I wish I had more knowledge of nature and like plants and that kind of stuff. Yeah,
You could identify plants or grow.
yeah, like there's a
them
part of me that wishes I was like got into hunting or that stuff, and I didn't spend so much time in the inner city. We did more outdoor stuff, so I had more knowledge, like survival knowledge. I think
Okay.
I wish I had more survival knowledge.
How long do you think you could last on a show like Alone? Do you think you get through a full night? Or do you
Yeah, just out of stubbornness, you get through a night. I think.
then panic when you think there's wolves nearby and you hear wind?
If you're talking about John today, right now, like,
Right now,
you're
this-
like, all right,
this
where you're
version of
going? You're going in 10 hours.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 days, dude.
Okay. Like just because you're like, I have no food, I'm exhausted, I have no water, I'm gonna.
I
die.
have no skills to gather food. I don't know what constitutes food.
I've been doing.
I can't trap. I can't hunt.
Just killing with an hour of comedy.
I'm terrified of tall grass and brush.
You could bring 3 things, and one of those is gonna have to be a hunter.
I'm far too lazy to set the camera up and then walk back and then pretend to walk forward. I'm not doing that shit. They just kicked me off right away. They're like, you didn't film anything.
Try to survive here, man.
This is how my episode. This is how they're like we 10 members on an island, and then they introduce me, and I'm like, hey, I'm John from Bakersfield, California. I have no skills, really excited, and then it just cuts to them carting me off in the boat because I filmed nothing.
I like, yeah.
That's it.
Too much energy, man. You're like, this framing is terrible. I can't do this.
I think what
Take two.
Yeah, I
Like it's 400 takes of you just sitting there at the beginning going, I just can't do this.
yeah. No, I wish I had the skills. Like, if you gave me like 5 years and I really trained up, I could I could last a little bit. But I would just spend all my time like, hey, okay, they got to be kind of around the same shoreline, right? I'm gonna sneak over and just scare the Jesus out of somebody.
You would just try and surprise someone else.
Yeah.
You just find
They're like, the producers are like, he spent the entire time trying to find a mate.
the women on that show, maybe not what you're looking
The
for.
women do really well on that show.
Yeah, their problem is that the body fat content gets too low, and
It
then
gets too low.
they're always forced to quit. They never want to quit.
They almost never were.
They're
yeah.
like the toughest.
And they always have a life that you're like, well, eventually I could see this being a regular life here.
Whichever, you know who always loses first is the guy that's like, my kids are at home, my wife's at home.
You're fucked.
He's got a picture of his family. That guy's got no shot. It's too
No.
much. He's like, it gets hard and you miss him too bad, and you're like, your brain starts messing with you. You're like, I got to go home. What am I
Yeah.
doing?
Like, what did you think was going to happen, Steve?
That's right.
It's crazy.
And then you get home, and they're like, did you win? And you're like, I quit after 47 hours. And they're like, oh.
There's a one guy, the first season, he's like, I forget what, he was a police officer or something. He sets up his tent, goes to bed, he hears a bear, and he's like, I'm out. Doesn't make it a freaking night.
Yeah, I mean, you're tough in your environment. Everybody's tough in their environment, but you're in the wilderness. You're in the bears' environment, the wolves' environment. It's terrifying.
Yeah, no,
We're
I'm not
camping.
doing that.
I told I've only been hunting a couple of times, but like by myself or with my oldest son, we went. We were like deer hunting, but as I described it, as like we went for a really hard hike with a gun.
Yeah.
And we hiked up to the top of this ridge, and we had scouted out before. We knew that there was deer in the area, and we sat there. We would hike for hours, and then there was at one point I go, "Hey man, let's say I got a deer. How are we gonna get it out of here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I don't know." I go, "If we shoot a deer down there, it's like 80 pounds of meat. I don't know if we can get it back."
More than that.
Well, you process it. And in order to process it, I had saved a YouTube video of Stephen Ranallo, the meat eater, teaching you how to process it. And I went, I just don't think we're ready for this yet. And he's like, yeah, maybe not. So then we had to hike back.
Yeah, I mean, because what was your plan if you killed one?
That was the plan. I'm pretty sure this downloaded YouTube video.
But
will
did you
get us
have like
started.
the bags to bag?
Well, I
up
did
your
have
stuff?
bags. Yeah. We just had like trash bags, big hefty bags and stuff. Yeah, I had all the stuff. But what I didn't have was the knowledge, like where you go, oh, that's probably not the shot you want to take.
Yeah, because you need to. I mean,
Maybe I do.
somebody's-
Maybe
you
that
gotta
is
go
the
with
shot. But
somebody that's going to teach you how to hunt.
yeah. I
And
had
also, were
learned
you-
everything from online.
Also, how often were you shooting that gun?
I was pretty good with it. I had gone shooting multiple times with a friend of mine who's a good
Okay,
hunter.
At least you had a little bit of skill.
Yeah. And I had gone he's hunted coyotes on people's property to like clear them out and stuff. And I had gone on some of those. One time though, he had a coyote call coyotes in, but there was just not a lot in the region at the time. But he turned it onto a bird call. And man, I don't know, ravens or crows, they came from miles. It was the most terrified I've ever been. There was maybe like 200 crows flying above us.
Were you guys just popping crows out of the sky?
No, we didn't have a shotgun. He's like, man, if we had a shotgun, we'd take 100 of these out right now. It was dead silent, and you hear with their wings, and I'm like, this is how I'm gonna die. Is these crows are gonna attack? I was terrified.
That's scary.
There's a large part of hunting that I'm like, man, this is just. I don't have the mentality for it, but that's one of the things I wish I had. I also am not good. I like fishing. I like the idea of fishing, but I'm not good at catching fish.
My problem is I'm scared of the fish.
Oh, really?
I don't want to touch it.
I've done deep sea fishing with my friend, and he's great at it. And we caught a lot because he knew where to go. I don't know where to go. I don't know what I'm doing. I like doing it, but I've never been good at it.
Yeah, Brian, our brother, and I, we went on a little fishing trip last year, which was fun.
Did he catch fish?
We caught a fish.
He fished a lot when we were
trout.
kids.
Yeah,
He kind of just went by himself. I wonder why. Like our dad grew up doing outdoor stuff, and then we didn't do any outdoor stuff as kids.
Yeah,
But our brother Brian gravitated.
but he would just go out to like Buena Vista Lake.
Yeah,
and-
but he would fish. Like we didn't do that.
yeah, I think he liked the solidarity of it. I really like with fishing more than the fishing part. I like scouting and finding like interesting like little pond, little
That's cool.
yeah, in the river. So I think that's fun.
Okay.
Like finding the fish.
And yeah.
Because I did some fly fishing back east, and that's a little like hunting too. You can't just sit. You got to like find a fish, and like I'm gonna get that fish. You know?
Oh, really? It's like that specific. I've never
Yeah,
fly
yeah.
fished. Well, yeah, you
Um,
live like right off the Delaware River, like the best fly fishing place in the entire world.
Yeah, it's like Roscoe, New York's like the birthplace of fly fishing.
Did you catch anything?
I never caught anything fly fishing. It's freaking hard.
Okay.
No, I
Were you
mean,
with people that caught or like? Knew what they
Yeah,
were
my
doing?
friend, my friend Dan, his dad is a good fisherman. And he was teaching us how to do it.
Oh, that's cool.
Of course, we all had a fit the fireball in our waders, and I mean, I don't remember the rest of that trip, but like, yeah, we were just smashed.
There's a real river runs through it. That's
It
the
really
real
was,
movie.
dude.
That's the real movie. The real movie isn't like how they fly fished, and
No,
the real movie is
just Brad
just
Pitt
getting hammered,
smashing
standing in the
fireball in the
river.
river, dude.
I didn't catch any fish. Why? You guys are fucking loud. Just screaming the whole time, laugh.
Yeah, like,
There's no
I'm
fish here.
That's the other thing. I don't think I can go hunting because I can't shut up when I'm hiking.
Yeah. Just having a conversation. That's what we should do. You and I should go hunting with a cameraman. No skills.
That'd be fun.
We should definitely do that.
No skills.
No. That's what we call it.
Let's see. What skills do I have?
What outdoor skills do you have? I have equipment.
That's not a skill.
Doesn't hurt.
I can catch a fish.
Okay.
But I have to have a setup. I couldn't like make my own hook or anything
Yeah.
and like survive.
Do you own a fishing pole?
There's a fish pole right there in the corner on the other side of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
Look at that.
I think it's yours.
Oh yeah, you guys went camping and used
Yeah, I
my
think it's
stuff.
yours. So I guess I don't technically own one, but there is one right there.
Yeah. Tenacity? Do you bring tenacity to the
No, I'm a giver. I'll give up. I'm like Michael Scott, and when he tries to camp, give it up, baby.
We set the tent up. We have a huge tent, a 12-person tent for 3 people, but we have a 2-person tent, and our 21-month-old, we're like, we want to go camping, but let's just put the tent up in our living room. So we put the tent up and had a fire going, got in the tent, and he's wild, bouncing off the walls in the tent, and he's falling on us, and he falls asleep. Finally falls asleep like 8 o'clock at night. And every noise outside, our dogs just freak out. They run to the door. And so my wife and I, we fall asleep, and the dogs wake us back up. Fall asleep. Dogs. 10:30, she rolls over. She goes, I cannot do this anymore. It's too firm in here. And I go, well, he's asleep. He doesn't know. So we just put him in his bed, and we went to our bedroom.
Wait, you guys were camping inside?
Yeah, it was fun.
You're like, if you can't hack it in the living room,
Outdoors is going to be interesting.
it's gonna be a little tough, dude.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, but like it was a little uncomfortable. The tent's really, really small. Like my father-in-law goes, whatever the tent says it is, cut it in half. So it's a 2-person tent, it's for 1 person. If it's 6-person, it's for 3.
Right.
If it's a 12, it's for 6. He goes, you can put that many people in, but you do not want to.
Well, we should go fishing. I mean, I have my fishing license. I like fishing.
I got to get my fishing license. We should go. That'd
Sure
be
that
fun.
you get it for here. It's like the year to year. So whenever you get it, it goes the whole 20.
No,
the whole
it goes
year.
until December 31st, no matter when you get it.
I don't think so.
Yeah, maybe it's 365, but I
think
thought
it's
it was
360.
just
I might be wrong.
year to year. I think it's like the 2025 year, and then.
No, because I wouldn't have got it. Because I think when we went, I'm like, it's not worth it if you can only fish for like 3 months.
Yeah. Well,
Although maybe it was 6 months ago.
that's a skill that I wish I had. We went camping a few times as kids, but I don't remember. It was never like for long periods of time.
Yeah, I've never done any like non-campground camping. I've never went into the wilderness and found a good spot and made a little campsite for the night. Never done that. I would like to do that.
Like bush country kind of.
Like actually, well, a lot of people would like you hike 10 miles and then you camp and then you.
Yeah.
I would like to do that.
Yeah, I've only done campsite stuff,
Yeah.
which is fine. It's fun.
Yeah, but it's weird.
But then you
'cause,
get in the
like-
car and you drive into a city for the day and you hang out. And then
Yeah,
you're like-
exactly.
And then you go back to the campsite. Not
And there's
like
just people doing stuff. I think, like when we went camping up at Sequoia National Park, the guy's just running his generator all night. So all night you just hear, and you're like, well, that doesn't feel.
they're
like
supposed to
nature.
turn those things off. I thought.
Yeah, well, he did.
Who's going to do something about it?
Yeah.
Would you like? What about Yosemite? You ever been to Yosemite?
I don't have any recollection of it. I'm sure we did as a kid.
I've only been up there a couple times. Once, actually, bouldering and rock climbing.
Yep, don't want to do that.
It was pretty fun. I blew my ankle out really bad the first day.
Yep, no.
And so that was not an enjoyable experience. But I've never camped in Yosemite. That seems a little bit more wildernessy because Yosemite purposefully doesn't have a ton of stuff. They do have like some restaurants. and
Where's
places
Yosemite?
Sierra Nevadas.
And those are
Yosemite, you can get to Yosemite from Bakersfield. You kind of go through Fresno. So about 3 hours away.
okay. So it's past Sequoia National Park and
That's in that area.
right.
Yeah, there are sequoias up there. Look, we have no idea exactly what we're talking about. But
I don't even know which way. If
that's
somebody
where
goes,
Half Dome is, El Capitan. You know the guy that did that Solo movie?
yeah.
That's in Yosemite.
Oh, okay. Oh, that guy with no feelings.
Ronald Honnold? Something Honnold.
Ronald Honnold.
His name's something Honnold.
Ronald Honnold McDonald.
Yeah, that guy's, man, crazy.
Yeah, he doesn't have a fear or something, like he's incapable of feeling
I
fear.
saw a video. He goes, the best climbers in the world don't die doing the hardest things. Because when they're doing the hardest things, their level of focus is so high.
Yeah.
They die doing something that's relatively mundane, and then something happens.
That's right. It's like I kind of equate it to like being in a wood shop. The new kids in the wood shop teaching wood shop. Anybody that's new in a wood, they don't get hurt.
They don't get hurt
because they're really aware.
Yeah, that sharp thing is really dangerous.
It's the dude that's been doing it his whole life that's missing fingers.
Yeah, the
It's
guy
like,
that's like, hey,
you can
listen,
always
let
tell
me show you here.
because you get comfortable.
Yeah, this angle grinder took my finger
and when
off.
you're scared, you don't. It's the same thing with weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. That's I'm part of the reason I'm like not very well trained at hunting is you have to do an online hunting course,
Mm-hmm.
and then you got to go do an in-person thing where they test you on your knowledge of safety and
Right.
how guns work. One of the things I saw that they get people on is you have your weapon safe, right? And then they go, "What's the serial number on it?" And then people do this. They go and they lift it up and look at the serial number, but they're just pointing the gun at other people.
Yeah, not cool.
He goes, "It's an immediate fail." So you have to like turn the gun in a safe manner
right.
to read it. And I was like, okay. So I had watched some videos. I'm like, all right, I feel like comfortable with this. I went down, met the guy, and then COVID happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it got rescheduled. Then it got rescheduled, and then it got shut down. And then they just sent me my hunting license. They're like, "Hey, you don't have to do it." So I didn't have to do. I did none of the actual safety training with a person.
Because we're gonna go back here. So let me just okay.
They didn't make me
You
wait.
you did none of the training.
I did the online course.
Okay, so you did the online course. You got your license.
That's right.
And then you're like, you know what? I'm gonna take my firstborn child into the wilderness
That's right.
hunting, and we're gonna kill it. So
It was
you
like
were
Abraham and Isaac. He didn't know what was happening.
That's hilarious.
There was going to be a sacrifice. That's exactly right. Yes, I took.
The hubris involved in this whole endeavor.
Yeah. No. What was great was he was on board 100%.
No, I get why he would want to go.
It's better.
Because he's trusting his dad knows what he's doing.
At one point, we had scouted. So this area about around Paiute Mountain, okay, which is in town or near town. I had taken all three of my older boys. Okay, so Hudson, Colin, and Eli. We had gone up to scout the area before deer season. And so while we were scouting up there, we found bear scat,
right?
deer scat. We're like, okay, this is a good spot. We kind of had a couple people tell us that was a pretty good spot to at least start from. And so we spent the day hiking, and we all had like pocket knives and stuff on us. And as we're walking back, it's a cutout trail to where my truck was. We're walking back, and my son Colin, who we call Bear, goes, "Bear, bear," real quiet. And we're like, "What?" He goes, "Bear," and he points down into this kind of creek area that's just covered with plants. And
Little Parents by Mr. Floyd Wells.
oh, he's awake. And we look over, and there's a bear cub. And
Oh, you better get out
So
of there,
my kids
dude.
are like, "Oh, cool, bear cub." It looked like a tree stump. It's real small. And I go, "Oh," and in my heart, I'm like, "Oh my God, we're going to die." Because I'm like, if the mama bear is on this side of the trail and the cub is on this side,
You're screwed.
we split them, we're in trouble.
Black bear, though,
Yeah,
right?
black bear. But the only time black bear really are aggressive is to protect their cubs.
Right.
So I'm like, hold on. So we get loud. We're like, "Bear, bear." You know, that's when you get big and loud. And he went back into the creek. And then 10 seconds later, we see a mama bear and two cubs come out the other side. We didn't hear them moving in there. We just see them come
How
out.
far away were they?
20 feet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, 20 feet from us.
See, that's enough for me to be like, I don't need to go there.
Well, and then they go up the hill. In a minute, they're all over the hill. But they would run 10 seconds, and she would stop and look at us, make sure we weren't coming, and then keep going.
Yeah.
And I told my sons, I was like, "Do you see how fast that bear went over the hill?" They're like, a minute. I go, "Yeah." It took us 15 minutes to make that same hike. That's how fast and smooth these bears. If you think you're getting away from a bear,
No, you're
not getting away from a bear.
What was your plan in the moment? Like, were you like
knives at the ready and hope for the best?
Or did you pick a kid and you're like, well, I'm just going to push so-and-so in front?
Yeah, I mean, the littlest one's got,
Yeah.
It's who do you outrun at that point?
You just book it. See this dad
just
elbowing
a
his
12-year-old
kids.
falls into the creek.
Shove him down the creek.
Yeah, I mean, it's like you guys figure it out.
Well, when I went hiking,
Can you imagine that? Just a dad that just takes off running.
We got to go.
Just leaves and he gets in the truck and starts it and drives away. Like, oh shit, I forgot the kids. Where are they at? I didn't forget them. I had to get out of there. There's a bear.
You're like, yeah, they got Colin.
We think. We're not sure. We'll go back up
He
and
might
find out
be
tomorrow.
okay. I don't know.
They'll fend for themselves.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that was when I learned that when you're scouting, you also need a sidearm. You need a gun that's big enough to protect you if you need
Also,
to.
around here, you get mountain lions, too.
Yeah. Mountain lions, weirdly, don't typically attack humans.
It happens, though. We went when I went hiking a couple weeks ago. My friend, he was like, yeah, this is mountain lion territory. So he had a gun, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm comfortable. But he said, yeah, 6 months ago, his friend of his, they were hiking back, and one of them, they were at whatever place, and this woman's like, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go back to the campsite, and on the way to the campsite, she gets attacked by a mountain lion. Mauled face, half face got ripped off.
No way.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're super dangerous. They keep bears away. My father-in-law, him and his dad, they have property. And they have a trail cam, and in the trail cam they see mountain lions. And he's like, I like the mountain lions because the mountain lions keep the bears out of there. And mountain lions don't tear up your shit.
No.
Bears tear up everything.
Right. They're like big trash.
So he's
pandas.
like, I like the mountain lions walking through there. He goes, we got a deer on the trail cam. He goes, and that deer was hauling ass through the campsite. He goes, which means that mountain lion was on that deer somewhere. That deer was out of there, man. And he goes, we see skunks and foxes, and he goes, they kill rats and ground squirrels, which tear your shit up too.
Yeah.
So all the animals he sees, he's like, oh, okay, I'm glad these are around. But I'm like, man, I don't want to be up there if there's 2 mountain lions sitting up in the mountains above me.
Doesn't sound exciting.
He said
at
he
all.
can sense them. He's like, I can feel when a mountain lion's looking at me.
Yeah.
But he's up there a lot, so I wonder if there's just like you hear it. It's like hunters. They go, hey, did you hear that? And you're like, I didn't hear anything. They're like, just listen for this like little tiny noises that are just different. I wonder if you just notice it.
I'm like, how could I hear it? I've been talking the whole time.
How did he find us?
Yeah, so wilderness stuff. That's what I wish I knew was more. I wish I enjoyed it more.
Have you ever shot a gun?
Yes.
Have you ever shot a rifle?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've shot an AR-15.
Yeah.
Yep. Shot
I've
one
done
of those.
that one time.
Super fun.
Yeah.
Shotgun.
I've
never shot a pistol.
Have you ever shot like a old kind of big sniper rifle?
No.
I did that.
Musket.
Yeah. It's
muzzle loader.
Yeah,
dude.
right.
No,
I shot one, had such a big kick. I had a headache for like 6-7 hours afterwards.
Oh, wow.
I mean, my shoulder was jacked up, and he's like, well, you didn't brace properly. I'm like, I've never done this. Why? I'm shooting a World War II rifle. You're going to have to, I've never done this. Walk me through. I had a friend, he could shoot clay pigeons with a pistol.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah, I know. I'm not a gun guy.
I like knowing guys that have
I'm not
guns.
anti-gun at
no,
all.
I'm not either.
I like, I wish I knew more stuff. I think there's just a part of you that's like, am I a man?
It's our Yellowstone conversation from before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, maybe I'm not really.
Man-ish.
Yeah, like I'm kind of scared of all animals. And I mean all.
Oh.
Yeah.
If you die, that domesticated cat will eat your face.
Yeah, your dog won't eat you. Your cat will eat you.
Yeah.
Yeah, because they're hungry.
They're like...
They're closer to... They're not as domesticated.
They're like, fuck you, I'm going to do what I need to do.
Yeah, I mean...
You don't see cats on leashes.
We got 5 cats here. They were feral when my mom got them, when she found them when they were born. None of them have ever let me touch them
Or still?
until this morning.
Really?
One of them didn't run away and let me pet her.
How did that feel?
It was pretty rewarding.
Did you feel like the horse whisperer?
I felt something.
I'm Caesar Milan.
Yeah, it was exciting. I was like, oh, no, maybe today's going to be good. And then it immediately went to shit.
Whoa, we started, it was 9 a.m.
Oh, yeah, we did an early. I don't mind the early. Although I feel a little not as, with it. But that's just.
That's just middle age.
Yeah, and the Benadryl.
Yo, are you having allergy problems?
No, I have post-nasal drip.
Oh.
And it's
okay.
helps dry you out.
Yeah. It's not working right now, though? You feel fuzzy?
No, it's just when you take 6 of them. No, yeah, no, it's just I'm pretty groggy until tomorrow, and then I wake up and I'm still groggy.
Oh, yeah.
No, it usually wears off around 11 or something.
We should definitely do a fishing trip.
Yeah, I mean,
we'll get our brother. We'll get Brian to take us. Brian will be our guide, and we will just talk the whole time, and we'll film it.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yeah, that'll be really fun.
Yeah, I'm into it. Let's book it.
All right, man. Let's do it. I love you.
Love you, dude.
All right, brother.
Have a good day.
You too.
Make good decisions.
Bye.
It's brother to brother.